Hello and welcome to part 2 of chapter 5, Line and Angles. To begin with, first of all let us understand what do you mean by intersecting lines. In the picture if we see, we can see that there are two lines given, that is line A and line B is there. And these two lines, that is line A intersects line B. When they do that, that is when line A intersects line B, we can see that there will be one point in common. Then we say that these two lines intersect each other. They should have a point in common. I hope it's clear now. Now, proceeding, we have to understand what do you mean by a transversal. So, transversal is a line that intersects two or more lines at a distinct point is called a transversal. A line that intersects two or more lines at a distinct points. For a clear understanding, we can say that the word distinct here, it means it's either clear or at a different points, we can say, for a better understanding only. In that sense, if we take, that is called a transversal. Here if we can see, there is a line B is there, line C is there, and this line A is the transversal. Why? Because it intersects B and C. Then we call it as a transversal. Such lines which intersects two or more line at a clear distinct point. Here you can see this is one distinct point, here is another distinct point. So such lines which intersects the other lines is called transversal. Next. Okay. Now if we take when a transversal intersects the two lines or more directly, the main understanding in this area we have is that there are different types of angles formed. You can see the table that I have put here, and also see the markings of the angle. This is angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and this pink color line is the transversal here. It intersects these two lines. Okay. Now, first of all, let us understand what first very simple point, that is what is interior angle and what is exterior angle. We know interior angles are those which lies inside these two lines. These are inside two lines. So if you take angle 3, angle 4, angle 5 and angle 6, these are interior angles. Similarly, if we go for exterior angles, what are the exterior angles? They are lying outside these parallel lines. That is angle 1, 2, 7 and 8. I have given it here, exterior angles. Next one is corresponding angle. What is corresponding angle? If an angle is lying above the line here, we have to select another angle which is lying above the line in the same position. That is called a corresponding angle, the same position. See here 1 and 5, 2 and 6, 3 and 7, 4 and 8. These are all pairs of corresponding angles. Now moving to next one is alternate interior angles. Alternate here, for time being, let's understand the opposite. So here if we take, it normally takes a Z form, and that corner angle, see here interior it is also. So here if we take, that is alternate interior angles are angle 3 and angle 6. See the positions of the Z and the angles formed here, angle 3 and angle 6. Similarly here if we go for angle 4, then it is angle 5 here. So this is alternate interior angles, 4 and 5, 3 and 6. I hope it's clear now. Similarly we can also go for alternate exterior angles. See here if we again take this Z, you can see here, if I am taking here 1, then it is going to be 8. That is alternate exterior angle. Similarly if I am going for 2, see here, then it will be 7. So 1 and 8 and 2 and 7. These are alternate exterior angles. The last one in this is the pair of interior angles on the same side of the transversal. That is, this is a transversal, same side, interior. So it is a 4 and 6 this side. This side it will be 3 and 5. Why? Because 4 and 6, because it is on the same side of the transversal, and it is also interior. It's also given here, interior angle, same side of the transversal. So it is 4 and 6 and 3 and 5. I hope it's clear. So this is one understanding we have to make regarding the angles that is made by a transversal. We have interior angles, we have exterior angles, we have corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, and interior angles on the same side of the transversal. This is important for us for the remaining part of this chapter. Okay, next slide. Okay, so if we go to the previous slide, you can see the lines other than the transversal. It is not parallel here, the example that I have given here. And when we move to the next slide, we can see here I have 3 lines here. That is line X, line Y, and line Z. Z is a transversal here, but line X and line Y, these are parallel lines. Sometimes it will happen like this, parallel lines. So normally in the examinations we can see there will be a lot of questions given to check whether if a transversal is intersecting 2 lines, whether the lines is parallel or not. How can we check it? So to answer such type of questions, we should have a clear idea regarding 3 important properties that will be happening here when a transversal intersects 2 parallel lines. I repeat again, parallel lines. Here the main point is this line is parallel to this line. So what will happen to the angles, or which angles is important to consider, whether how can we check whether these 2 lines are parallel? So first one is, if these 2 lines are parallel and the transversal cut, so each pair of the corresponding angles, they are equal in measure. This is the first part. The corresponding angles are equal in measure. So which are the corresponding angles? We have already seen 1 and 5, 2 and 6, 3 and 7, 4 and 8. So this all will be equal in measure. Okay. Now going to second property. I hope the first one is clear. Second one. Each pair is given here. Each pair of alternate interior angles formed are equal. Each pair of what are the alternate interior angles here? Interior angle. So this thing only we have to consider interior. No, it is mentioned here interior. Now alternate interior, I told you it will be normally taking the position of the form of a Z here. So it will be easy for understanding. It will be opposite also. So here 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, this will be equal. Okay, so if it is 30 means this is 30, this is 45 means this is 45, this is 45 means this is 45, like. Okay, so each pair of alternate interior angles are equal. Coming to the last property, that is each pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal are supplementary. It is not equal. Remember the point here, it is supplementary. Supplementary we already seen, this means 180 degree. Okay, so here interior angle on same side of transversal. So this is a transversal and these are the pair of interior angles, that is 4 and 6, 3 and 5. So the pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal. Remember, this will be on the same side of the transversal. So this is on the right side 4 and 6, this is on the left side 3 and 5. So this makes how much? 180 degree. The total will be 180 degree. This is also, so we have 3 checkpoints here. First one, we have to check for the corresponding angles, whether they are equal in measure. That means these 2 lines X and Y is parallel to each other. Similarly, check for the alternate interior angles formed. if they are equal in measure, we can conclude that the lines x and y, they are parallel to each other. And the third one, we have interior angles on the same side of the transversal. We have to measure it, and we have to check whether the total comes to 180 or not. If it is 180, means those two lines are parallel. Okay, those two lines which are intersected by the transversal, they are parallel to each other. The same point I have again given in detail in the next slide. The same point, I will repeat it again once again for your better understanding, because this is very important for answering the questions based on this. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of the corresponding angles are equal in measure. Second one, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of alternate interior angles formed are equal. And the last, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of the interior angles on the same side of the transversal, they are supplementary, that is 180 degrees. I hope it's clear now. So that is the end of the chapter, and thanks for watching.